Did you see the bike meet?
Yeah, I started to watch part of that, and I didn't never see all of it.
Yeah, it was bad.
I think it was
And
what, Wednesday or Tuesday? Was it Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Because
Okay.
on Tuesdays they do like Taco Tuesdays, and it's the day before I get Caden back, so I like
Mm.
to go on a ride.
How's that every Tuesday or so often a month?
Almost every Tuesday, but I don't. I can only make it there every other one because we go ride, me and him, but
Mm.
not like that. Not at night. Not that far.
Gotcha.
You
Now,
know,
is that like a decent ways from your place?
man. Nothing in Houston, in my opinion, is a decent ways. You know, like
Well,
I feel like 45 minutes. I'm 45 minutes from downtown. I'm 45 minutes from most places in Houston,
see,
and the
mm,
longest, the furthest part of Houston away from me is maybe an hour and 25 minutes with traffic. So
God,
that's not that bad, really, in my
right.
opinion.
And this held in Houston.
Yeah, well, the metro area,
I got you.
like one of the 20 different little cities around. Yeah, I never really even thought about that. Like New Orleans got maybe 10, 15. Fucking Houston's got 25, 30 different cities that make up the metro area.
No
And
crap.
I'm seeing an hour and a half drive across, but we're talking an hour and a half across one city. And just doesn't seem that bad.
Hmm.
It's crazy. It is
Oh,
the fifth largest city, the third largest in square mileage, the fifth largest in population, the second largest growing,
yeah.
and the first largest in Dayton. Right, the city I live in specifically is the fastest growing Mexican population in the nation.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know why they like Dayton.
Man, I seen in the news where them folks went over to Mexico and four of them and got two of them got killed by the cartel.
Who?
Um, it was like a week or so ago. Um, they went over there to um for one of them to get a tummy tuck or something,
Oh yeah,
and
probably illegal surgery.
then they went across the border just on the other side of Brownsville. I think it's Brownsville, and got them as soon as they got into Mexico. They got in the daggone middle of a cartel fight or something, and
Hmm.
they got kidnapped. And this Friday was a week ago, and they found like 3 or 4 days later they found two of them that had been shot and killed. And one was shot in the leg, and the other girl I think she was unharmed. But
No,
the the cartel turned their own people in, turned them over to the authorities,
damn. Well,
and
they'll let him go.
yeah, and it's all corrupted down there anyway.
It's insane, bro. I've been saying, only way that's gonna ever get completely shut out is we are literally gonna have to invade Mexico. Military might, bro.
Yeah,
No bullshit.
they
Boots on
gonna
the ground, fucking Marines in the works, airborne drops. Because you cut the head off of one, three grow back. You know,
mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. I'm telling you, bro. It's uh,
corrupt.
yeah. Even the police and the army's corrupt down there.
Yeah, man. Well, they fucking they're poor, bro. So like they, how do you compete with that? You
Right.
got a damn near, I don't want to say third world because it's not that bad. Hey, What you doing? Whatever you're doing, stop being so rough with it. Pause the video. There you go. But when you, it's like Iraq. Them guys could get paid $17 a week to be an Iraqi policeman, where they get targeted more than soldiers did because they were looked at as traitors.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get $300 in a night to bury a bomb.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. That'd be like a no-brainer. Yeah.
I'm blowing some soldiers up. You better believe it. I got 3 wives to feed and 5 kids and
8
a bunch of
goats.
goats. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yep. Exactly.
I mean, you decided to come over here. That's the way the cards were dealt.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is so true, brother.
I was in charge of detaining ops. We were training Iraqi police. My job was to teach them how to humanely, and that's in the, you know, big parentheses, humanely, because it wasn't. First day I showed up, the jailer had all the inmates, prisoners, because a lot of them are short time, like stole from the market.
Right.
So they'll spend a few nights in jail. Had them all lined up, butt naked, on the wall. And there's no age. There's no juvenile detention, nothing like that. I had like a 12-year-old kid next to some like in his mid-60s old man, and these poor two next to guys that have been fighting American forces and stuff like that, cold-blooded killers. It was just insanity. And I remember giving my terp to ask him why he had them displayed like that. And that was basically what it was. He was just trying to impress me. And I'm like, man, get their clothes back on, bro. I don't want to see these dudes like this, What kind of shit is that?
God darn. Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Dude, it's hard to, I don't want this to sound fucked up, but it was hard for me to maintain the fact that they're human in my mind, because they're like kids. They're like big kids.
Yeah.
They want like tassels on their AKs. They want like to play games on their cell phones and shit.
Right.
They can do jumping jacks. I'm sure you saw that video.
Mm-hmm.
That one that went viral.
Mm-hmm.
That was at one of my Iraqi police stations.
Oh, really?
But it was before I got there. Not that they were doing better once we got there.
Mm.
Do I can't call Bluetooth and connect back? Because
You need the wire, buddy.
I got the wire.
Is it plugged in? Check up at your headphones.
Oh, there's Monica.
I mean, if you go in the living room, you don't need the headphones.
I plugged them in.
You want my little white ones?
Well, she was there.
Yeah. I remember their vehicles was F-350s, no armor, with RPKs mounted in the back, and they would just ride in the bed of the truck. I was thinking about doing that to mine.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh! I just reminded me of something. That truck that you was showing me. Did you get it? Or
Yeah.
You did cool, cool.
Hmm. I love it,
Man, that's a nice looking ride.
man. I wasn't expecting like I always had my eye out for a 7.3,
Mm,
but I was expecting to find like a farm version,
right.
like a white or beige single cab long wheelbase with busted or factory rims on it, not
Hmm.
like that. I ended
Man,
up, you know, it was meant to be.
man, them pictures of it was really nice looking, bro.
I'm getting something to replace the Ford emblems
Hmm.
because International made the engine.
Yeah.
So on Amazon, I can get some International emblems
Hmm.
and take that Ford shit off of there.
I got a buddy that was looking for a inline six. And I told him, I said, hmm, that might be kind of hard to find. Maybe. I don't know what he was going to do with it. Two? Uh, no,
And
real.
born
For real.
two of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Kobe's his grandpa was a Cummins guy,
Uh,
5.9s all around. Kobe's truck is a 3500 5.9. The truck Kobe just sold to Caden's great grandpa,
uh,
and they're rebuilding it fully. Dude, every part on this truck. He had me under there looking for a number on the engine block,
mm,
and it took me a little while to find it. But he's like, if it's this number through this number, if it's got a 500 or whatever in it, it was an American made block. It wasn't the lot of them that they had the blocks made in Mexico. The ones made in Mexico, they failed. It's no good. It's not worth a damn.
gotcha.
But that few that was made over here, if it's that, I'll buy it. Man, when I found that number on there, texted it to him. I was so excited because Kobe had been having that truck sit out there for a while, trying to sell it,
Hmm.
and I didn't just want to see him sell it. I wanted to see him keep it close, because I know what Caden's grandpa and great grandpa were going to do to it. They were going to exactly what they are doing it. I mean, his grandpa paints cars and bikes
Mm.
for a living. His great grandpa is one of the best diesel mechanics I've ever met, and they're completely overhauling it. It's awesome.
Connie's out front.
Hey, where
Yeah.
have you been?
She needs a link, Caleb. Maybe she can come up and talk to us for a bit. I ain't talked to Connie in forever. I seen. Let's see. She come into my one morning. I was doing a movie. I think maybe it was 2 3 weeks ago. Maybe she came in there with me for a little while. That's the first time I'd seen Connie in a while or
You
talked
said,
to Connie.
was it a Saturday morning thing or
Movie.
whatever?
Yeah, I was doing a Saturday morning movie on StreamYard.
I saw that.
Oh, did you? I'd done about maybe 4 or 5 of them so far.
How you do that
Just go to like
legally?
legally, you have to go to find a movie in the public domain,
Uh,
and then you got to make sure the music's not copyrighted and things like that. And there's a site I go to, something archives.org or I think or something, movie archives or something,
I
and
think
they
I
got
think it's pronounced copyright.
copyright,
Yeah,
copyright.
copyright.
Uh, so and I do it like that and play it, present it, and
I'm on early tonight.
uh, Saturday
Yeah.
morning movie. That's right, Connie. I've done the Screaming Skull. Let's see, the Carnival of Souls. Um, Airborne. Let's see what else.
Airborne.
Yeah, it been seems like there's been a couple of more. The Bat. The Snow Beast or Snow Monster. Um, yeah, I've
I've
done
never,
about 4 or 5 of them.
I've never heard. Yeah, I've heard Adam's Family. I've never heard of any of these other ones.
Oh yeah, it's that movie Airborne was filmed down here in Southern Pines and Pinehurst back in the day.
Uh, in Georgia.
No, down below me, down here, where the wife be working at in Southern Pines and
How did they
Pinehurst.
shoot an airborne film not at Benning?
Well, they actually filmed it. The local places, they filmed the train scene and everything, the railroad depot, in Southern Pines, and then they done the main filming down here at Fort Bragg.
Palms and Palms.
No, Southern
Uh,
Pines. Let's see.
I'm familiar with Palms and Pines.
Yeah, let's see. Google.
Cherry Point's not far from you, huh?
Cherry Point.
Hmm.
It's about 3.5 hours away. Let's see. Fixing to show you something. Uh, okay. Southern Pines.
Why do I know Southern Pines?
Um, Southern Pines uh is not far from Pinehurst, and Pinehurst in Southern Pines is known for golf, and they have the U.S. Open there sometimes. Hell, just past summer they had the women's Open down in Southern Pines.
The hell you say? They
Mm,
let women play golf?
yeah, yeah.
World coming to.
But yeah, they be having some big shit down there. Um, but yeah, Southern Pines. Let
There's something else that's Southern Pines.
me do this.
Like maybe in a movie. I don't know. Let's see.
See, 1 second.
No, I guess that must be it. Maybe I'm thinking of something. Uh, maybe Southern Palms.
You might be thinking Southern Palms.
There's something in. It's actually smack dab in the middle of the Chapelai Basin.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it's Let me see if that's what I'm thinking of. Well,
All right. Let's see. It might be easier to do this. All right.
Southern Comfort.
But yeah, I'm right about there. And Southern Pines is way down here. There's Aberdeen. So it's about maybe 27, 28 miles away. But that's where Southern Pines is where part of that was filmed, right over in here over the train station. And over here is Bragg. So,
Yeah.
it's right there, and this is the area where Sicily drop zone and stuff is.
What was Bragg? Bragg was mechanized units. Their Bradleys. All of their was Cav at Bragg.
Cavett.
Cav, first Cav, and
Oh, not that I know of. Uh, no, I don't think so. Uh, I know they have. Well, it's the special forces and Green Berets and all that kind of stuff. Then there's the 101st. I think it's in
yeah, that's what
Kentucky.
it was. Screaming Eagles out there.
Yeah, 101st. So, yeah, this is one of the ranges here.
I was under 101st in Iraq. I couldn't technically wear their Screaming Eagle as my combat patch.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah, I don't though. I feel like it's a fresh.
Connie,
They were fucking like headquarters, you know.
gotcha.
Just a technicality that allows us to. I wear my puking pelican, bro.
You're puking pelican.
That's if you're Louisiana
Wear it
National
though.
Guard, you go overseas, you come back. It's just tradition. Your combat patch is always your puking pelican.
Puking pelican.
It's the pelican feeding the baby birds on the front of the Louisiana flag.
Ah ha ha. Gotcha. Hmm. Damn. But yeah, you probably like that movie if you used to see it. I mean, it's not. It's kind of like a. I don't know. You may not like it, but I thought it was kind of cool though. Um, about this old country hick that joins it and joins the army, and he's from up there around Michigan, Illinois, or somewhere. And there was some guy, some bully in the platoon, wanting to always uh, fight him and all this kind of stuff. And it's you might like it. I don't know if you would or not. But it was right. I liked it pretty good.
Does he end up tuning his ass up?
Oh, they go to jump and he gets scared. The old bully does. And he finally something happens about his shoe or something. And old country, that's what they called him, country. That boy from Ohio or something that guy was always a picking on. They he saved his life, and then that way, after he saved that old boy's life, he got that liking him then. I say, yeah, technical movie
I
movie
mean, you
drama.
kind of got to. You owe him your life.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Damn, Connie, I thought you'd at least come up and say, hey.
She said, "Fuck us."
She probably won't want to come up around us.
Well,
I
man,
guess.
what is Southern Comfort? It's a blend of stuff, right? Kind of like almost like a liqueur, but it's higher proof, right? All I know about Southern Comfort is Janis Joplin. That was her shit.
Southern Comfort whiskey.
Yeah, but it's got a bunch of shit in it, like
Uh,
citrus and
let's see what that.
molasses and stuff. I think.
But damn, this shit's so damn small. I can't read it. I'm going to blow it up. My eyes are getting bad. Uh, let's see. Southern Comfort is an American naturally fruit flavored whiskey with fruit and spices. The brand was created by bartender Martin Huron in New Orleans
Mm-hmm.
in 1874 using whiskey as the base spirit. Whiskey was replaced by a neutral spirit under the ownership of Brown Forman. On March 1st, 2016, the Sazerac Company purchased it and reintroduced whiskey as its base spirit. Southern Comfort was created by bartender Martin Wilkes Huron, the son of a boat builder, in 1874 at McCall's Tavern in the Lower Garden District, 2 miles south of the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana. According,
Hey.
according to the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau, Macaulay's Tavern was just off Bourbon Street, and the original form of the drink was called Cuffs and Buttons. Heron Heron moved to Memphis, Tennessee in 1889, patented his creation, and began selling it in sealed bottles with the slogan, "None genuine but mine," and two per customer. No gentleman would ask for more. Southern Comfort won the gold medal at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri. Uh, in the United States, Southern Comfort is available in 42 U.S. proof. Um, and let's see, 70 U.S. proof, 100 U.S. proof, and 60 U.S. proof. In Australia, varieties include additional flavorings such as lime and caramel. Was introduced by Brown Forman in the latter years of their ownership. These was discontinued by Sazerac. They also make eggnog.
Yes,
Mm.
bruh. That motherfucking eggnog,
It ain't no joke.
bro. It's delicious.
Mm. I've never had it. I've seen it in the grocery stores, but I ain't never had none.
Yeah, it's got that. It's in the white carton with the green label.
Uh huh. And I also seen it in the liquor stores. You know the where you go in there at Christmas time and they'll have it.
Yeah,
And I be wanting to get some, but I ain't done it yet.
bro. I like some spiked eggnog,
Oh
man.
my god,
I like eggnog. Period.
I just like eggnog,
Yeah.
plain eggnog. And I was gonna get some this past holiday, but whenever I went in there, half a freaking gallon is like $6. I was like, what the hell? And so I didn't have
That's
none.
not that bad. You cute?
I didn't have none. So I
Damn.
went. Last eggnog I had was about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
I make eggnog every now and then.
Oh, really?
Scratch.
I was looking on how to make it, but
Look it up. It's not that bad.
it looked like it'd be confusing for me.
Mm-mm.
No,
No.
I know you got to put cream and or heavy cream or something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then nutmeg and some other stuff to it, and just make your regular. You got to boil it or heat it up or something. I can't all remember. But yeah, I'd be liking me some eggnog now. Hey,
Hello.
Connie. Hey, hon.
Hold on, let me turn the volume up.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, eggnog is when I made it. It surprised me like Alfredo.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I make my Alfredo from scratch now because it's 3, 4 ingredients, and it's so
Uh-huh.
much better than that shit out the jar.
Oh wow. Well, somebody told me if I ever had any homemade eggnog, they said you probably won't go back to the store bought commercial store
That's
bought
what I
egg.
was. That's why I brought it up because
Yeah.
like you don't like paying $6 a gallon. I mean, you could pay
Uh,
$12 for all of the ingredients to make it, but you
yeah.
try to make a little bit more than
Oh
just a half a
gosh.
gallon.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hello,
whenever
hello.
hey girl.
How you been?
Good, good. Long time no see.
That's
Yeah.
good, right? I know. It's been the last time I talked to you was whenever you was in my side chat there.
And that was a while.
That was a while back, and then before that, it was a really while back.
Yeah, I think the last time I talked to you, Connie, was Barefoot Blue Jean night that live I did. Me
I
and you.
think that was right.
That's true. That was a year ago. You know that? A
A
year.
Yeah,
year?
it's been done about a year. Cause that's whenever
I
you was
thought it was
telling her I
longer than
was.
that.
That's when you was telling her I was AI.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it
He's
was
just
longer than that.
no, he's just
Nope.
floating. He floating out there in the
And
etherness.
as a matter of fact, that night, we talked for a long time until like well into the morning. And it was a Sunday night, I think, because I was supposed to go to work. And then it started snowing and work got canceled. So it worked out really well.
Yeah, I was
Unfortunately,
doing.
that's not going to be the case tonight
Ah,
because
Oh
there's
yeah,
no snow here.
I was amazed with the fact that they really do have snow days.
mm,
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're
We got
yeah.
built into our schedule, but we haven't had any for so long.
We had some flurries here today.
Did you?
Yeah.
It tried to
Um,
flurry here, but
yeah,
no
it
luck.
was more rain than
Rain.
it was flurries. But it started like at 7 o'clock this morning. Um, and I think the flurries was over by 11. But you really had to look for it, to
And you're
see the
south of
flurries.
me. That's what's
I
crazy.
know, right?
I don't want to tell y'all what kind of weather we had here today.
And Caleb's really south
Hot
of
and
me and
humid,
you. Hmm.
no doubt.
No, I was on the bike. It was beautiful
I
up
bet.
until me and Caden came inside uh, for about 2 hours, and then when I walked back outside, I had to put a jacket on. I had to put a hoodie on. It had come in that fast.
Wow.
It's freezing.
Yeah,
I
My
mean,
friend
freezing
sent me
for us.
pictures from she's out west. She went out to California near Lake Tahoe. They had like 20 feet of snow. It's fucking insane.
God,
Yeah,
I know
that's it.
that
Shout
it
out
was.
to Whip. Fresh
It
powder on the
it was
ground.
like 40 degrees here all day today.
Damn.
Cold, damp, rainy, wind just a little bit blowing. I was like, "Oh man, it's raw."
How can you get snow if it's 40 degrees?
I have no clue, but it was.
So if it's too cold, they
Well,
say
I
Like
think
down
what
here, if it's too cold, it don't snow. It's got to be the perfect temperature. I
yeah,
guess the
it's like
humidity.
I think what it is like the air above it is it falling is cold enough for it to freeze, to turn into snow, and then it's kind of a cool all the way down, but whenever it hits the ground, it's
Hmm.
gone. Um, but yeah, they said it can snow like in like the upper 30s, lower 40s. It just depends on that cold air pocket of air up above it. It'll blow your mind though.
And then also
Um,
just depends on if the ground's cold too.
Yeah, if it's cold and if the ground has is frozen, or if it's wet and it snows hard enough, then it'll start freezing to the ground because it'll cool down. And as the snow or rain's falling, it actually cools the air also.
and you know what I found out the other day?
What's that?
If you don't, if you're setting poles or posts,
Mm-hmm.
like say telephone posts,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't put them below 3 feet, which is the frost line,
Uh,
that pole will back its way out of there eventually.
really?
Hmm.
Do you know
I
what it
did
means
not
when a
know that.
pole is painted purple?
Oh yeah, I sure do. Pole tree, you better stay the hell away.
Oh,
Right?
Ah.
what is it?
Oh, it's just a
It's a
sign
no.
that
It's
says
a no
those
trespassing sign.
Oh
trespassing.
yeah, purple.
Yep.
Kobe was saying that he needs to get some purple paint. And I thought he was talking about because around here, this is one of those Texas towns where like the the old men buy season tickets to the high school football games type shit. They're proud of their Broncos around here. I thought and their color's purple. That's what I automatically
Uh,
assumed.
yeah.
And then you mentioned it that it was no trespassing. What is it when they paint them white, like 4 feet up down? I've
I'm
seen,
not sure on
It
that
means
one.
that dude's gone to heaven.
no, I've seen that where
That's
like
funny.
somebody's entire yard or field, big country yard, every tree is white, painted about 4 feet up, all the way down to the ground.
I've seen that too, Caleb. I don't know
I
I
exactly
don't
think
know.
what
maybe
you mean.
that's some sort of a
Boundary, maybe, or
pesticide, kind of like tree medicine, maybe.
Uh,
I don't know. That's a guess, but
I'm about to look it up.
but yeah, that purple. I know what that purple is.
That's
yeah, I didn't
good.
know that until fairly recently.
Uh-oh, where was you trespassing at?
Oops.
Oops, you didn't know I knew that, did you?
It's like, oh, what a pretty purple.
Yeah, it's nice purple.
Yeah.
I was just looking at your purple paint there.
I thought it
Hmm.
was unicorn fence.
Yeah.
Oh, it's to it's to reduce the warming of the trunk during the day.
Huh.
I guess that's not good for them.
Oh,
Well,
the
I
Mother
Good for
guess
Nature
it
them.
makes
medicine.
sense.
Cracking and splitting. No, that's when you're drying it. I know that. My pops told me that. I was making a bunch of stuff out of natural wood, and he was like, "When we cut it up and store it, you better paint the ends so it don't dry too fast and split."
Split up.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Hey, Connie, you up toward Washington,
Yep.
D.C. that way? I thought you was. Okay.
How's the government doing?
God, I don't
Shitty.
know. I stay out of there.
Shitty.
I'm actually in Maryland, so I'm not really in Washington, and
Gotcha.
Oh, you're in Canada.
I never go into Washington for anything unless it's a Caps hockey game, and then I just take the subway in and take the subway the fuck out.
Oh
That's it.
Lord.
That's
Yeah,
all I do.
Don't mention hockey to me.
you're
God.
definitely in Canada
Hockey's my
talking about
game.
hockey.
Huh? What's
I
that,
say
Connie?
you're in Canada, basically.
Well, I watched Canes Saturday night. They got beat, and they were playing tonight, and they got beat. I'm like, are you for real? My God, they got four. They was playing Saturday night. They was playing the Las Vegas Knights. They got beat 4-0. Tonight they went to New Jersey, played the Jersey Devils, got beat 3-0. I was
Damn,
like,
what happened to your team? They used to be pretty good.
yeah, I mean they done good for the ever since they started this season. The last couple of games, they went south. I'm like, what the hell happened? Rod Brendamore, I can tell you, I don't think he's happy. But
I'm so lost. The closest I can put in on this conversation is I got stuck on a bunch of YouTube highlights of hockey fights.
ooh,
There's
ooh,
lots of those.
I
oh,
like it. I like a sport that'll let them duke it out.
Yeah,
mm,
sometimes they just stand back and just to be like, go for it, fuck it, just do it.
Till somebody
Get
hits
it
the
over
ground,
with.
till a knee touches the ground or something like that, they'll let them swing it out.
Well, sometimes it builds up over the game too, and the referees
Right.
know it. And at some point, they just say, "Just do it and get it over with," and we just carry on with the game. But you know they're serious when they
absolutely.
throw down gloves, throw off helmets, and they're like, "Come on."
Yeah. What the video was like when rookies finally get payback, and that's what was so cool about it because uh, there's these little young guys against these guys that I guess are considered what do they call them enforcers or the tough guys that are on the team or whatever.
The toothless ones.
Yeah, yeah, the ones that go out there to fight.
Yeah.
And if you're a rookie, he'd be tired of it, and finally, well, a few of them knocked old boy out. You
Well,
gotta,
sometimes the reverse is funny to watch too. Like these little rookies come up and think they're gonna do something, and these big guys just go like pop, and they
yeah,
just go down to the
they
ground.
got
Like,
them old school tricks. They can skate backwards and jab at the same time.
You
Yeah,
know
the
a good hot.
boxing, their footwork was pretty good too. To say they were on ice and blades,
mhm.
You got a good seasoned hockey player that's missing when he's missing teeth.
Yeah, it's a point of pride up there. Like them jiu-jitsu guys, they got blown out ears, cauliflower and stuff.
Hmm.
I used to get mine drained. I didn't want that.
Well, going to a hockey game is way more fun than watching one on
I
TV.
bet.
Oh, I can imagine.
Is it
I
cold in there?
Well,
oh
it is an ice
yeah,
rink, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty cold. Yeah.
But I mean, this is like it's
It's not cold,
better than a
cold,
football
cold, but
game because a football game is fucking freezing. At least around
Outside.
here.
oh
Maybe
gosh,
not where you are, but here it's ridiculous.
I know that they done the Canes. What the hell was it? About a month or so ago, they played outdoors,
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
and they had 60 some thousand people there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
heaters.
I didn't go, but I seen it on TV. That's all they were talking about. But they said they had 60. I think it was 63,000 some people there. That's as many people there. There was that many. There was that many people there. 63,000 some people. That's about how many people's in Lee County.
Dude, yeah, have y'all ever heard so LSU's got Death Valley, their stadium?
Hmm.
Well, there was one year where the the attendance was 90 something thousand and LSU was just dominating. Kentucky, I think it might have been. And it, the stadium got so loud, it registered on the Richter scale.
Oh,
Me and my mom were at that game.
oh my God,
Yeah, she took me to a few when I was a kid, and we were at the LSU game where they registered on the Richter scale. It was pretty cool.
my
Did you
God.
hear anything when you left?
Yeah, I don't remember it being, but I remember when they said it was like record 93,000 people or whatever. They had just added the nosebleed tiers and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's where we were.
That's a lot of people.
Damn right it is.
Yeah,
And man, can you imagine having to go to the bathroom or trying to leave? Ugh,
Especially the
no.
women's room.
Oh my God.
which
Yeah,
is always the worst.
That's
hell, you
why I
have
use the men's room. I don't care. I'm not proud. I would walk right into a men's room.
to say
Um,
when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, listen, especially when you're at a place where there's maybe like a stadium and like
Uh,
the women are like lined up 50 feet and there's like not one single person standing in the men's room. I mean, seriously, what are you going to do?
yeah.
Especially if you got to piss. I mean, like,
I mean, yeah.
and men usually go in there and stand up anyway. So, you go in there and grab a stall. They don't even know you're in there until you walk out and they're like, "Ooh, God,
Ooh,
what the fuck?" And you're
oh,
like, "Oh,
there's
excuse
a
me,
woman
bye."
here.
And then it's over. So,
Man, I'd have to say 9 out of 10 bars I've worked at, the women's bathroom at the end of the night, y'all are savages. It's always the worst. The men's bathroom was a little pissed around the floor, the urinal or something like that. The women's bathroom was like, and
Oh,
you wouldn't think that either because
Well,
look,
I would agree, though I am not one of those women, but I would agree that it is fucking ridiculous, some of
I've
these
heard
women.
that same story,
it's
you
crazy.
know, and
That's
I've
why they have
also
to hire
heard,
people to stand in the fucking bathroom and clean up after these women.
Yeah,
uh,
And
what's
they're
up,
happy to give
Mister
them a tip
Edward?
too. They don't even care.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
yep, yep.
yeah, and
That's not me.
I know women. My God, they can be so vulgar. Oh my God, they can.
Not you, buddy.
Ooh, they can be rough. I thought men was rough,
I'd
but
like to have that job though. Seriously, standing in a fucking bathroom and just
Man, we could
cleaning, like one with no
no.
windows, and
the,
drunk
the last
people in and out of there all fucking every second of every minute of every day. Like,
Oh,
the last year I was at the strip club. We got a guy. He came to us and offered, and he had like a little assortment of cologne and
he wanted to
uh,
be in the women's room.
no men's. He was in
Oh.
the men's room, and I was like, man, this ruins my whole vibe. You know, I didn't
yeah.
like that.
Did he plant a
After that.
camera? Because you gotta watch that shit.
No, it's just like I can't dry my own hands. He's bad. You feel bad if you don't take the towel that he's offering and stuff, and then you feel bad if you don't tip him. You know,
Oh my God,
we go back to self-service bathrooms, please.
there was a guy we went when we went to one of those gentlemen's clubs back in the early '90s. Uh, there was we went to one place and my buddy there was a bathroom attendant, I guess is what you call it, standing in there, and he turned the water on for you,
Yeah,
do this for you, do that for you. And my buddies, I left early. I mean, I got used it and got on out of there, and he was
yeah,
wanting me to. He was doing this for me, and I was like, nah, I appreciate it.
yeah. He'll
I
hold your
handle it
dick for
myself.
you at the urinal.
Fuck
No, I
no,
got this.
I got this, bro. And after I went back to the table, I noticed my buddy was a little bit late coming back, and he finally come out there and sat down, laid this little mint on the table. I said, "What the fuck is that for?" He said, "Cost me $5." I said, "Five
Oh
dollars for a piece of mint?" He said, "Yeah." He said that dude in the bathroom. He said he kept wanting to do things for me, do things for me. He said there for a minute I thought he was gonna go in there and help me, piss. And I was like, "Oh no, dude." He said then he, well, turned the water on, put soap, had that little soap dispenser, and put soap in my
hmm
hands, and had a towel for me. And then he's like, so I
Wonder
gave
if
him
they would.
$5.
Wonder if they would wipe your ass if you asked them.
I
Oh
mean,
no.
don't get me wrong.
Like for
They'll
real. Like for
like
real.
when you leave him. If you get full service, uh, he'll hit you with a little splash of cologne. The soap that he brings smells much nicer than the shit in the bathroom. I mean, it's not bad. It works for like a strip club,
Mm.
you know. But I'm sure I'm sure there's a few times where old boy had to like eat his dinner in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
But I mean, it was clean though. I mean, you could see if you go back in there and use it, he'd be washing the sink down around it, things like that,
hmm
and also, I mean, and he was dressed real nice. Um, but I was like, no, we don't need to come back in this club no more.
What kind of
It
club?
was it was the Q and L club, and
Sounds like a gentleman's club.
it was,
Mm.
yep,
So strip club,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Q&L. They
Q and
always.
L.
I like those low key names like the Office.
Mm.
There was a place I knew that was called that. Baby, I'm
Yep.
going to the office. I'll be back.
Yeah, the Q and L was right there between Bragg Boulevard and what the hell is that other street? Oh crap, I forget it. But it bared off. Bragg Boulevard went straight down through the middle of downtown, and then that other little road that went off to the right. Was it MacArthur Road? Shit, was it MacArthur? I can't remember.
You talking about
Anyway,
outside Bragg? Like
no,
Bragg?
down. Well, it's in Fayetteville. just on the other side of Bragg. And then across the street from the Q&L was a heavy metal club called the Flaming Mug. Went there a few times. Flaming Mug, Q&L. Then on down Bragg Boulevard down there, you had Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's and the Dollhouse and the let's
Wait,
see,
back up. Dollhouse.
Dollhouse. Yep.
What's the dollhouse?
That was a gentleman's
Like House
club.
of the Rising Sun?
No, that was a gentleman's club. Then you had let's see, the Cellar, the Attic. God, I mean
Right
they
outside
were
of Hilton Head, you had a place called Squat and Gobble.
squat and gobble,
I swear to God, I did
squat
stop
and
to take a
gobble,
picture of the sign.
squat and gobble.
Yeah.
Damn.
I can't think
That's
of.
awesome.
I know I've seen some crazy bar names, but I can't think of them. None right
Yeah,
off.
they used to be
The
one
Corner Pocket.
the corner pocket.
That was a gay bar down at the end of Bourbon.
Oh, they had a few of them
I
down there
found that
too in
name
Fayetteville.
interesting. Corner Pocket.
They used to have one. It was a restaurant slash topless bar. What the hell was it called? Hell, I can't remember. But you go in there and uh, you can sit down at the bar or whatever, and they had a menu and you could order a burger or whatever it was, and they put your order in, take it back to the kitchen, and then after it was made, to bring it out and set it right down at the bar.
Yeah, bro. We had a full buffet during the day. $5 buffet. And
Most
you,
places
Shit.
do.
the
You used to
$5
have pretty good
a
food.
strip club, and you could go walk up to the buffet, get your food, sit right down at the stage.
Bo, that was awesome.
We weren't allowed to let the girls weren't allowed to go into the kitchen because it's against health code. But you
Right.
could eat right next to the stage where she's dancing and
Go figure.
yeah,
My goodness.
the buffet was pretty good too.
I
I
wish.
run in the kitchen every now and then just to pick up extra hours. It's a one man kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't bad. We had the best deal on burgers. A $5 burger, and you got like an 8-ounce patty that was made up fresh when you order it. And these
Oh
bad
shit,
brioche buns.
man.
Best deal on a burger you can find in Port Allen.
Oh wow. I found it hard to whenever I was down at that joint. Uh, God, I wish I could remember the damn name of it. But I remember, the stadium about to where you could order your stuff, your food, actual food. I find it hard to take and eat a burger with a piece of lettuce hanging out your mouth, looking at a pair of good Hooters in front of you, shaking. And I was like, a burger? Damn, I dropped it.
It'd be real cute if she walked up and stole one of your fries.
Oh, yeah. Without
Depends on
using
what you
her.
did with those fries.
I slide my tip back to me. Now, eat off my plate. That's a no no.
Yeah.
My old lady won't eat off my plate.
Unless you can pick them up with no hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I became a germaphobe a little bit watching that money get passed around to dirty hands from plant workers that just got off of work to God knows what body parts, and then when they go tip you at the end of the night, they don't give you all the crisp brand new ones. They got to go through and count them, so they'll pull all the shit ones out and give them to you. I
Oh,
wash my hands like 20 times a night. Gross.
My goodness. Lord, I can tell we've had I remember having fun back in the day. I was thinking about taking my boy down there, but nah, I better not do that.
They ruined me on them.
Hmm.
It's like seeing the guy behind the curtain, the
Oh yeah.
Wizard of Oz. I'm like, I know the game now, so it ain't no fun.
You got to step up your fun notch.
I never really was like a traditional strip club patron. I like to go and sit in the back and wait for the lazy girls that don't want to be working, and or track them over, talk to them, stuff like that, talk them up. Never was like a go up to the stage and tip type shit. I'm tipping it off as they're walking back to the dressing room.
Yeah. Mm.
It's just weird to me. What else? You know what else is weird? When I first started working there, I was a floor guy and
What's a floor guy do?
security and like making sure she gets to and from the dressing room
Okay.
good. And the most awkward part of the job was when she's done, there's money all over the stage. She walks off. I had to like
Grab
Scoop it
scoop
it.
her
all up.
money up. That felt so weird to me, touching her money. I was like holding it out in front of me, making sure everybody knew it wasn't nowhere near my pockets. It was awkward.
I can bet. Damn. They I remember they used to do dollar dances whenever it'd be slow, and the DJ would whenever he seen there wasn't really nobody getting dances or whatever table dances or back lounge room dances. He'd do the dollar dance,
On the
and
floor.
yeah, what he'd do is he'd play snippets of songs, and each girl would go around from table to table, and he may play maybe 1 or 2 minutes of a song. Then you tip out $1 and give them to them. Then they'll go to somebody else and he'll play, another minute or two of a snippet of a song, and he'll do that 10 times until you spent $10.
Mhm. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
if you don't play, the only time I ever played a song in its entirety is if a chick like pissed me off and was late to stage or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And you don't want to do that to them. They know when the song ends, and if you keep them up there all the way to the end, because I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the night, they tip you out. You get a base pay, which
Hmm.
is something like $60 for the night. Your money comes in with the girls,
Hmm.
and I mean, you make the final decision on what music is played because you're the soul of the club. Like everything can get blamed on the DJ. If drinks weren't, they didn't make money on alcohol. You weren't pumping drink specials. If the kitchen didn't make money, you weren't pumping the kitchen enough. Like it was a lot of responsibility,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're torn between these girls who are like it was like babysitting. Sometimes you got to find them why they're not on stage, why they're late. Go drag them out of the dressing room, and then
Yeah.
you butt heads.
We
You gotta change the music up and stuff, but every girl wants to dance to the same thing. That's my song. Like, no, it's all my song.
I
Y'all
remember
just claim them.
I remember whenever we was going, we'd go down there. Me and my buddies would go into town about every Friday and Saturday night, and they got to know the DJ very well. And we'd buy him drinks. He'd buy us drinks. His name was Rob. I don't know how the hell I remember, but uh,
Sounds like a DJ name.
yeah. And so we tip him money. I'm gonna play this song. Can you play this song? Yeah, I'll play it. Give him $5, and he play it. Um, and then I know the one time they were having like a some kind of highfalutin party. You had to buy a VIP ticket in order to come, and we was wanting to go, but we just didn't have the cash to get the ticket with. I forget how much the tickets was, and I went up there to and give him like $5 to play a song for me, and he's like, because he was like you said, he was promoting it, during the shows, and he's like, "You coming to the show next weekend?" Aren't you? I was like, "Oh, I'd like to. We'd like to." So we ain't got the money. You want to come? I was like, "Yeah, love to. I'll get you in. Don't worry about it. You be here. I'll get you in." I was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So sure enough, we show up, and we go to the door, and we said, Rob wants, we're here to see Rob, or let Rob know we're here, and he come out, and he'd say something to the door girl. Shit, come on in. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, appreciate it.
They're not making money at the door, man. Man, to be
No.
honest, they're not making money off of the girls. The girls are just an attractant. They're making money off of the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
markup on drinks in a strip club is unreal.
And the drunker you get them, the more they're
Oh
going to
yeah,
tip, the more
that's
Exactly.
they're going to
right. Yep.
buy.
And that whole like, hey man, here's $5. Can you play this song? What I would do is go, you take that $5 and go put it on stage when she gets up there. I'll play it. I'll play it for a chick, but that's not her normal music. She's not gonna, she would never ask for this, but so as long as you give her the money, and
Uh,
then she sees that I've sent that tip her way, she tips me out better at the end of the night.
mm-hmm.
It was a $10 minimum per girl, and if I
uh,
got $10 from a girl, I did something to piss her off.
oh,
So on Friday, Saturday nights, I'd have 30, 40 girls. It was a good lick. I was making decent money. I dealt with a lot of shit though.
well, I tell you one thing. I wish I had the money I'd spent back in the day. Whew. I'd have a nice little old cushion.
Yeah.
But I was young, dumb, and stupid.
Mm.
But I enjoyed it.
Did you get many female customers? Not
Mm.
dancers, but like people that would frequent the place as
The girls
customers?
loved it when other girls would come in because they're so much more comfortable dancing and doing freaky shit on a girl than some strange guy, you know. So I tell anybody who's
I
about to
do
like
know,
group
actually.
to the club, take a chick with you. That's the best thing. It's like bringing a puppy to the beach, you know. That's the best way to get more involved with the girls. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
always had a good time when I went. I only had to go on stage once. Other than that, I never really liked it.
No shit.
I'm happy just to sit back and laugh and drink and, you know, be
yeah.
one of the boys. That's always, I thought
One of
that's
the
like one of the
boys.
boys.
Shit,
But
we had
one time I
whenever it
missed,
was. Go ahead, Connie.
I missed my mark and I ended up on stage.
I found I found it hard whenever I really was drinking liquor down there. Whenever I had to go over to the bathroom, man, and the lights would be a flashing, and it's like, whoa,
Hmm.
this is not good. But I made it. It was hard to do, but I made
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was, anytime I would get up from my table to walk to the bathroom, at least
it.
five people would say, "Oh, excuse me, you work here?" I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, because you think you're waitress or whatever, because you're female.
I remember the shooters, man. They used to have little test tubes with the
Oh,
drinks in them.
yeah. I used to make them.
Oh wow! And the girls, the shooter girl that would come around, and it was wicked the way she give it to you.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the jump off point for. That's like if she does well, she'll be
mhm.
dancing,
Oh
in
yeah.
a month or two. With the dancers are contract workers.
Yeah.
They're they come and go, but the employees they end up staying once you realize the money and like you mesh well. So the employees were where you had to have good employees. That's why we started that little recruiting program that we had. If you recruited somebody on and they ended up staying for a month, you got a small bonus. If they ended up staying for 3 months, you got a decent bonus. So I would go every Saturday, Sunday. Saturday I wasn't working. Every Sunday, me and a couple of guys from the club would go around to like Hooters, Twin Peaks, stuff like that, and try to recruit
Recruit new
decent
girls.
waitresses. And then that's how I met my little boy's mom. She was
Uh,
our waitress at Hooters one night, and I was giving her hell the whole night. And she's one of those chicks that like she'll take a whole table's order and not write anything down,
oh
and
shit.
it's a pet peeve of mine. But everything was on point. I was like, all right, well, you wanna make twice the money you make here, and not have to wear this tacky ass outfit, and then you work with me all night. He's like, I'll think about it. That night, I took her over there. She interviewed, got the job, and she was like my star recruit. Man,
Recruit.
she went from waitressing to bartending in record time. It was. I don't even think I got my bonus for her. I'm gonna have to hit her up about that. She owes that to me.
I can imagine you'd be like, "How many years has this been?" And
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Oh, it gains interest.
oh shit." Well, you might have a little nest egg right there.
Hell yeah, I do. He's in the living room.
Good gracious, I can imagine it now.
That's going to be
What?
her answer too.
Yeah. What?
He
Can't believe
knows.
it.
He knows I met. He knows mom used to work at Hooters, and that's how me and her met. He don't know why I was at Hooters recruiting her. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna tell him about that.
Well,
We
don't
had,
tell him nothing unless he asks.
yeah. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Heard that before, ain't we?
Mhm.
And depending on how old he is, will depend on what your answer is.
Oh yeah, because I got a few subjects like that. Oh, you want to join the military? Sit down.
Let me tell
Explain.
you. Let me tell you.
You went to a strip club? Sit down.
Yeah.
Let me tell you some things.
Mm.
I heard they're teaching them. Connie, you might know this. They're teaching them about 9/11 now in school, whatever. This was a couple of years ago when I heard it was introduced to curriculum.
9/11.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know nothing about that. Them teaching
Well,
that.
it's part of the history lesson.
Yeah,
Oh
But
wow.
listen, they don't touch on it very long, so
yeah, I bet.
it's like a blurb,
A
like
blur.
everything else.
Oh.
I just hope and pray one day he comes and he's like, Dad, what do you know about 9/11? I got a report to do. Sit
Oh,
down.
sit down, boy. Let me tell you something.
And you're going to turn this in exactly how I tell you.
But then it
Oh
wouldn't
wow.
be his work.
It'll be the truth.
The
That's what's
truth will
important.
You
be
could only
great.
be his source, but he
Mm.
would have to write it.
Yeah, he can word it however he want
Well, let me tell you like this. It all started when.
it. Exactly.
Once upon a time.
What,
Oh
you
no.
tell me what they told you, and then
Yeah.
I'll correct you.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-mm-mm. Man. Oh, did y'all hear about that? Them giving Tucker Carlson hell about the January 6th videotape that had never been shown, the footage?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh my
EQ, I
God.
can barely hear you. Are you like
No,
falling
I'm.
backwards?
You hear?
Hold on, let
How's
me.
it now?
He might have been snoring last time.
All right. Can you hear me now? Did you turn my mic up, Caleb?
You up now? See?
All right. You hear me now?
Yeah, a little better.
A little better. Um. God damn, what was I saying?
Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah, Tucker Carlson. What's his name? Speaker of the House, McCarthy, I think.
McCarthy.
You mean
McCarthy.
Pelosi?
Nah, she's gone.
Ah,
Yeah, she's been gone. Um,
gone
McCarthy.
out of the spot or
I,
gone? Gone?
nah, she don't have a job no more.
No shit. She don't
Yep,
need one. She made
Well,
her
that's
one.
right.
they voted like, I don't know, 12 or 13 times, and then finally they were just like, fuck it, just do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's no longer Speaker of the House. So this McCarthy guy comes in and he's he has turned over like 40,000 hours, or has turned over 40,000 hours of videotape from inside the Capitol from different sources over to Tucker Carlson and told him to look at it. And he says, you'll see what really happened. And so Tucker and his team watched all that footage from inside the Capitol, and it showed the shaman. Remember that guy with the paint on his face with the Viking looking hat and all?
Yeah, yeah. I think I heard of him, but I
Yeah,
didn't get into the
I
January 6
yeah
riots that
I
much.
I didn't get into a whole lot of it, but it showed where there was a couple of Capitol Police was walking him through the building, opening doors, like
Yeah,
giving
it
him
was
a
a
grand
setup.
tour. And he walked by. They walked by like 9 officers and just walked right on by him, and nothing happened, you know. And he went into the chambers and said a prayer for the police and asked God to keep them safe and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, it showed a lot of stuff.
What are they implying?
It was, but they were basically saying that the shaman and a lot of the people that went in, they
We're
was
pretending to
arrested.
be hardcore right.
Yeah, yeah, and and the guy, I forget his real name, but the shaman, he's been in prison for about 2 years now. He pleaded guilty about something, um, but I think he gets out in July of this year. Um, but he, but yeah, they showed a lot of stuff that the mainstream media did not show, and they were painting it as, oh, they were rioters and they was doing this, and they said there was police officers got killed. There wasn't no police officers got killed.
What about that girl that got shot?
Now she did get shot and killed.
Who went down for that?
One of the well, nobody did, but it was a Capitol police officer that shot her in the neck, and even the other Capitol police officer said that he didn't need a weapon. The guy that shot that woman didn't need a weapon,
Didn't
so
need one.
didn't need one.
Like
Didn't,
in the
he didn't know how to handle
situation,
it. Yeah,
like you got a few levels of force you can go to before you pull your weapon.
yeah. And they said that he was really very, I won't say irresponsible, but they said that he really had no.
It was negligent. There's no doubt
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
hmm So
It's
yeah, I
also
mean, it
probably pretty
was
chaotic.
it was a lot of stuff that went on that they said was a bunch of lies, and it really wasn't like that. And there's one congressman. Well, there was actually nine of them, and all of them Republicans. And one of them was what's that guy's name? Uh, Kennedy from Louisiana.
Yeah.
John, was it John
Mhm.
Kennedy? He
No,
was. What the hell
but
was
yeah,
it?
Kennedy. You. Yeah.
Kennedy. He was one of them. Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Tom Tillis, and he's from North Carolina. I won't. I voted for him last time. I won't vote for him again. I mean, there was like 8 or 9 of them saying, "Well, they should have been shot." They only really should have been charged with trespassing, basically. You know,
And how you trespass on
yeah,
uh,
on
public property,
public property.
government property?
Yeah, so, but but they, whenever Tucker Carlson put that stuff out there, it really pissed a lot of them people up in Washington that wanted to keep it a secret. The stuff that they didn't want let out. It really made them mad. So
I
now they're
wonder
going
what
after him.
Tucker's security detail is.
I don't know,
They
but
got a bunch of ex-vets, old triple canopy Blackwater fucking mercenaries that work for him because that dude pisses a lot of people off.
hmm
I'd be worried if I was him.
but yeah, I mean it, and it showed. He showed all this like this past week,
Damn.
bits and pieces of it. He didn't show all of it, but he said the mainstream media was had the lied. They told lies. The people up in
Well, did they have access to all these videos?
yeah, that McCarthy guy turned the videotapes over to Tucker, and told him to
But
watch
I mean,
them.
that was just recently, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so Nancy was hiding them in her office, or probably in her ice cream freezer at the house.
probably so. Yeah, she, they was really mad, and there was one guy. He was on CNN. I forget what his name was or who he was, but he was like, whenever they showed the guy, the shaman going in there, he's like, they needed to shoot him, shoot him. I was like, dude, you're talking about, shooting somebody. You're
An American
very,
citizen on
yeah,
American soil.
yeah.
That's, I mean, they were. I don't know. I was disappointed in the whole situation. If they were, you know, if they were right leaning, I was disappointed. I was disappointed to find out that they might not have been. Just the whole situation sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that stuff was Antifa dressed as Trump
Yeah,
supporters.
and that's disappointing too. Like,
Yeah.
how did all of this even? How did the whole blue versus red shit even start?
I don't know.
It wasn't our idea. It wasn't none of the people involved that are now involved in it and that claim it. It was
Mhm.
probably all fucking put into people's heads for
Yeah, it's
politics reasons.
yeah. I think it was a lot of a setup, and they knew something because I mean, hell, look at them. They was putting up barricades and bringing in the National Guard and Army to, around the Washington and cutting off roads and wouldn't let people in and all this kind of stuff.
I mean, you got
And,
to activate the National Guard whenever you can because they don't get a whole lot of training. You know?
yeah,
I'm
and
speaking as a guardsman.
yeah, and then whenever all that was going on, uh, some of the National Guardsmen was sleeping in a parking deck, basically in it cold and all, and they didn't have they wasn't provided for like they should have been. You know what I'm saying? Um, and what's that woman's name? She's a congresswoman. She used to be in the army. Gabby,
Oh, yeah,
is it Gabby?
the
Uh,
only Democrat I'd ever vote for.
yeah, and she actually turned her office, and and told them National Guardsmen that there was so many that could fit in the office, they was welcome to it. To lay
Where
down.
the hell was she during Katrina? Because my homeboys were holding down the Superdome with fucking shovels and mop sticks.
Oh, I can imagine that,
They
bro.
didn't even bro. They didn't even issue weapons out before they put boots on the ground.
God damn.
No bullshit. I'm talking maybe 30 National Guardsmen with a Superdome full of refugees.
Oh Lord.
It's crazy.
And some of them places that got flooded out never did go back into them and redo them though, did they?
No, I was deployed down there till 2007. Katrina was in '05, and yeah, there's still big areas of just my district, which wasn't even like lower ninth or anything that was hit extremely bad with water, and
Hmm.
people just up and left. That's why we were deployed down there for so long because NOPD lost half of their force and they didn't come back. Why come back? Why
Right,
rebuild again?
right.
I mean, I get why I let it go, but I don't know. The crime rate skyrocketed.
Oh
We
gosh.
had all three of the. I was. We have a north, a central, and a west MP unit in Louisiana, and all three of them were activated. We were even cross training like engineers to be MPs to go down there. I had to
Wow.
go to post course and all kind of stuff.
Huh.
It
Man.
was, I mean, it was good range time. I tell people all the time Iraq didn't hold a candle to the shit I saw in New Orleans because Iraq felt like the other side of the world. New
Yeah.
Orleans was an hour
Oh
away from my family and my home. It was home.
yeah.
And Americans killing Americans. That's what was crazy about it.
Yeah. I can imagine. I can only imagine what that was like down there.
Bro, I was there when SEAL Team 3 got brought in to clear out the Calio projects because there was people just holed up in the Calio projects. We found out the radio frequency that they were using, and we were just listening to them. Clean house, bro.
Wow.
Calm as day. That's what's so sick about it. Can't go
Just
down,
like walking down the street.
bro. It was like it was like another day at work. Can't go down.
Oh
Weird
my
shit.
god. I'm telling you, bro. Well, I guess Tommy was living down there then. Well, yeah. Yeah, he was. Now the part that got the worst flooded, Caleb, was that in downtown or
Yeah,
was it
not downtown, not far from the French Quarter, which is also pretty much downtown. It was the lower ninth. The cities they call it the Crescent City because it's pretty much a
shaped like
bowl.
bowl?
It's
Right.
under sea level, and it's protected by these levees. That when there's a bunch of conspiracy behind it, and over the years, every time I got when I flew back from New Jersey, landed right here in Bush Airport. I got an Uber and I got in with the guy and I started chatting with him and I heard his accent. I said, "Where you from, man?" I'm originally from the Third Ward in New Orleans. I said, "Man, let me ask you something. Them levees." He said, "I already know what you're gonna ask me." I said, "What happened?" He said, "I heard the explosions too, bro." They blew them levees, dude. And up until I talked to this guy, I had a completely different opinion on it. I was baffled as to why they would do it.
Who's
I couldn't
they?
figure out the motives, but the way he said it is like, well, think about it, bro. Everybody in that situation won. Like I got out of the third ward. I'm living in Houston now. Like it gave me enough of, and my family enough of a financial boost to get up and out of there. The city got paid. He said you got paid. I was like, yeah, I was stateside active duty orders with per diem and all that.
Everybody got money,
Everybody won. So I don't know.
and they got money to come in there and redo the levees and new pumping system and all that kind
That's
of
what
stuff.
scares. Back after World War One, they realized war meant money. What
Uh-huh.
scares me is now they realizing that disaster means money.
Yeah, but that what that guy told you about the levees going.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a few people say the same thing.
Many of them heard the
Yep.
explosions right before, and I mean, we thought originally SEAL Team Three. Okay, yeah, if you clearing out the Calio projects, these are some hard motherfuckers, bro. You want a SEAL team in there, but why not the Rangers? Why not what the SEAL team is? You know what SEAL
Hmm.
is?
Oh yeah.
They're underwater explosives experts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So why the
So
hell is SEAL Team Three there?
yeah. So if you kind of connect the dots, it makes a picture if you connect enough dots.
I'm not connecting no dots. I'm not leaving nothing on paper. I don't know nothing about the whole situation. I got paid. That's all I care
That's all
about.
that matters. But yeah, I've heard a bunch of people say the exact same thing, Caleb. What you just said, that man told you,
Hmm.
and that's a shame.
Well,
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know. He kind of changed my mind on it, man. Like somebody who lost everything, it has an outlook on it like that. Like, and I don't think the words "I'm glad it happened" would come out of his mouth, but in a way, it's like
it was a
everybody won.
blessing.
They lost a lot of people, but everybody who survived it benefited.
Hmm. Yeah. My goodness, if we could just be a fly on the wall and go back and look and be able to be in the right spot at the right time at the right place about certain things that's happened, we could probably learn quite a bit that would blow our minds.
Yeah,
You know?
it's crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't trust none of them. To tell you the truth.
I
It's
don't
been
think
like that forever, though. Forever.
Yeah,
I
about.
don't think it's a them though. Like, look how shitty people are at collaborating. Even some of the best groups, the Marine Corps silent drill team even drops a rifle every now and then. I think it's just we don't have any one facet to point a finger at. It's just a human mindset. You know,
Hmm.
you don't need an official conspiracy to make something like the Illuminati or the Bilderberg group happen. It's just
Yeah.
gonna happen. They know I scratch his back, he's gonna scratch mine.
Hmm.
Just greed works the same way.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Boy, boy, boy.
Like a construction site. Y'all two would know this. I mean, if a job is moving too fast, then they don't have to get together and be like, "Hey, bro, slow this down. I need some overtime." Shit like
Yeah.
that. They just they're gonna take a little bit longer. Each person is gonna,
Yeah.
suck that job dry,
Yeah.
especially like plant work and industrial.
That's just like that guy I was telling you and Brandon about that one time that drove that concrete truck, and the state was doing a project about pouring
Yeah,
concrete. Yeah,
yeah,
and of course, when he drove up, Ready Mix had the contract to do it, and they had to being at such a big project. They actually at the local plant here, they only it's a small plant. They had like 4 or 5 trucks. Well, they had pull what they could off of that lot yard to do this big project, but they had the other two do the other projects that was going on, the small ones. And them boys is going in at 4 o'clock in the morning and working till like eight at night. And they
Mm-hmm.
was actually having to call like Southern Pines and Fayetteville and Cary to bring in a little few more extra trucks from those plants to help them down here. And Randy was telling me about it. He's like, "Yeah, I had a full load of concrete and went up because the job site was only like maybe maybe a mile from where the the concrete plant is." And he said that he was waiting in line to get unloaded, and he had his drum turning the whole time, constantly turning. And if the sensor in his truck was saying the concrete was getting a little bit too dry, he would hit a button and spray the water in it to, just enough to bring it back up to consistency, and it was constantly turning. And then he said he'd been sitting there for about maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then whenever the other truck moved out and it was his turn to move in, he said that he was getting ready to get positioned to where they wanted the concrete at. And the foreman over the job told him, he says, "I'm refusing that load."
Yeah, because the problem is not the concrete in the truck. The problem is what's called a cold seam. If the concrete that's already down
Uh-huh.
starts to set, you add more onto it, you'll have what's called a cold seam between them.
So it
It's
wouldn't actually
it's a
bond.
fault in the concrete.
Ah.
It's an engineering thing.
Mm.
You gotta watch it. That's why um, they'll work nonstop from 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is actually I would wake up at midnight when we pour concrete to go to work be there at 1 and start at 2 because you don't want the sun and the heat speeding up that process and then the cold
That's why
seam.
you always got people in there with shovels stirring that shit up.
Or in those probes. You ever seen those kind?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Wow.
Like a giant silver bullet with a backpack vibrating that concrete down,
Yeah.
and they're intense. We had a little game. We tried to see who could hold on to it as they turned it up. But you can't hold it; it'll rattle your fucking hand loose.
God, dirt.
It's tense because what it does is it settles all that concrete, shakes all the air bubbles up to the top and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
The jokes that were going around when they busted them things out.
Wow.
Oh, well, look, that's Rob's wife would like that one. You know what I
she loved you for a long time.
mean? The jokes
Uh,
on a construction site are endless, man.
oh gosh.
The nomenclature, it's almost like they set it up that way, you know?
My God, that's kind of like I remember back whenever I was little, after if it had rained a lot, and it would be the ground would be kind of mushy but not really soft. We go out in the field, and I take my foot and get to a soft spot in the mud and start tapping my foot up and down, and then all of a sudden it would get watery,
Mhm.
and it would the dirt would like settle and the water would come to the top.
That's the wet sand effect.
And
They
that's
make
what I
body
do.
armor like that.
I would take and tap my foot just in one spot, and it'd get really soft and watery.
Did you know that?
Hmm.
They make body armor like that.
I didn't know that.
That's soft and flexible until
Mhm.
something strikes it,
Uh huh.
like something 1,000 feet per second or a bullet.
Uh huh.
And when it's struck, because you ever done that with sand and then like hit it and it'll seize up, harden. But if you're just barely working it,
Hmm.
your hand will sink in it.
I
I
didn't.
thought that was the coolest shit ever. I watched a documentary on it.
Uh,
It was in the same documentary as that dragon scale.
oh yeah.
You seen that?
I have not seen that. No.
Like it's the strike plates. Did y'all have strike plates when y'all went over?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
imagine a 1,000 small ones, like the size of a dime or a quarter,
Ooh.
laid out like dragon scale, like scaling.
Oh yeah.
So that strike plate area is flexible,
Yeah, so it can move.
but it'll still stop 762. You know.
They did that back in the Roman days.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I want to make my own body armor. Like I saw this fight program in Russia, M1 Global. They put on full armored sword fights, and these guys go out and like, I mean, the swords are dulled, but it's
Cool.
basically,
That's fun to watch too, actually.
man, I love it. And I didn't love it as much until I found out that those guys they get their own armor approved, so they can go out and get their own materials, make their own armor to be lighter, cooler, stronger, stuff like that. And the engineering side is what made me want to do it. Like I could make my own body armor, and then when do you ever have an excuse to make a knight's full set of knighting armor? You know?
Honey, I'm going to a sword fight.
Yeah, you better. And I will do that too. I'll fight with a sword. I'm about it. Especially
Shit.
like armor. I mean, I'm fighting in a cage with just shorts on. I'll fight. I'll fight with armor on.
But then what would you wear on your head?
I already got in my old phone. It's in that drawer right there. I got pictures of examples, and I can show you 3 helmets that I would blend together that give me enough vision, but enough protection in the eyes and stuff. And most importantly, it looks sick as hell
Uh,
because that's what's most important.
Other feathers involved? Tell me there are no feathers.
No feathers.
Okay, good.
No
just use
matter
a
what.
chicken.
No. But
That would be pretty awesome, though. Nothing
yeah,
like a good sword fight.
especially with the materials that civilians have access to today, man, like Kevlar, I can order Kevlar off of Amazon. And titanium, you can get titanium billets, any shape, size, and anything like that. You can shape titanium, but I wouldn't. Uh, if you say if you were to get it like a billet of titanium and you wanted to make a knife with a 4-inch grinder, make a simple knife, not forging. Any spark that you throw off of that titanium,
Hmm.
it turns into something, and wherever that spark lands, it's like a fallout or something. That element will be there for the rest of the time, and it may be a carcinogen or not. I'm not sure, but you
What
never
about
want to get
those?
this
What about
guy
those like metal fishnet meshy shark anti-shark suits?
mail,
What is that?
chain mail.
Yeah, yeah,
Chainmail.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I learned how to make chainmail, but not from a guy who was like making body armor. It was uh, a guy who was in the body modification. Like he was a piercer at a tattoo shop that I worked at, and he made chainmail. I guess to like wear to I don't know, S&M type meetings with his boyfriend or something. I don't know what it was, but
Shit.
he taught me real quick. I never put it to practice, but there's different levels of it. And basically the what it is how many loops are through, pick a loop and count how many of them are through it. The more rings that go through that loop, the tighter the weave,
The
and
tighter the weave, the more
the
successful it
strength.
is.
It
Yeah,
has its own class. That's like
stronger it is.
a three weave or a 5 weave, or you know what I mean. That's how they classify it.
Right.
It was pretty interesting. And he would sit there and what he would do is wrap wire around uh, a probe or a bar of a pencil, anything like that, and then cut it up the middle, and boom, there's all his rings. And he was just
Wow.
fucking putting them together. It
Yeah,
was
that's
pretty
cool.
cool.
But it's pretty heavy though.
I
Wonder
mean,
how
for
they
a
do that
weapon,
underwater. Like, how do they keep from sinking if they're doing it underwater?
I don't know how a lesser man would, but
Shit. Yeah, unless a man would. uh, that's a good one.
You know what I mean? Because they use it for shark protection. But I'm thinking to myself, if it's metal and it's heavy,
they're in that cage. I don't think any
yeah,
of
they're
them would
out swimming
swim.
around. That's why they have
No. Oh
suits.
well, yeah. I'm sure that's like either like cast aluminum or something like that. But you gotta think that the scuba tank is as heavy as it is, so that it can pull that air bubble down, and you're not just like floating up by the tank. I'm sure anyway, and they wear belts. Remember?
I know. I'm a certified scuba diver. I know all about scuba
Oh,
diving.
there you
My
go.
point is, I
Mhm.
would think that if you put on a chainmail suit to keep you from being attacked by sharks, man, wouldn't that be heavy and like just suck you down to the bottom
I don't know. The only
like a
input
weight?
on that is like the alternative to in body armor in those like the night fights that they do is padding, and that padding is they say it's heavy, it's hard to move around, and it's
Yeah,
hot.
yeah,
So the chainmail is like the way to go. I don't know
yeah.
about it. I don't know how heavy it is. It must be less heavy than the padding.
Maybe it's not very heavy at all because it's all air.
Yeah, and I
It's
mean
not
it
a
don't take
solid
much.
thing.
It don't take a thick gauge wire to once you got them meshed together like that
Yeah.
to stop something. They act as a chain. They split the force like eggs, like a carton of eggs you can stand on.
The what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you try to stand on
But
one egg, you'll crush it. But if you put like a piece of plywood on a carton of eggs and transfer your weight evenly, like a bed of nails. You know how
The next
magicians.
time that you have a live panel, Caleb, I want you to get a dozen eggs and a piece of wood and stand on it
yeah.
and tell me that they're not going to break.
I, I got faith in them. I'll try that because I got faith in them.
All right, I want you to do it.
I just crushed cans tonight. Me and Caden took we had 4 big garbage bags full of cans because we'll crush a few and then we just get lazy and just start throwing them in that hole. So we ended up with 4 big bags. I was like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. Daddy's gonna dump all these out on the ground, and I'm going to get my truck keys. That's what I did. Rolled back and forth over them. We took them 4 bags, piled them all into one after they were all crushed. I remember my pops doing that when I was a kid. He had like an old C10 jacked up on 35s, and we were about to go turn in cans. I think he was just letting us do it to show us because we had a ton of cans. I got like $12 for it. I think that was his whole point. But we were about to go turn them in, and that's what he did. He dumped them out in the yard, and that was the coolest thing to me. So me and Caden just did that,
Yeah.
it worked well.
That
That
doesn't mess up
fucking
your tires?
man, that fucking
Yeah.
that F-250 did way better than the fucking that little C10 did. No, them tires I got they 80 psi, fucking 10 ply. I wasn't worried about them.
Listen, I'll tell you what happened to me on Thursday night. I was coming home on the highway, and this highway, the speed limit is 65, so everybody does 70 or 80. I personally do 80 on that road on a regular basis.
Yeah, you'll get run over if not.
Yeah, but everybody does it. So, you're just, it's all good. But anyway, this dude was in the left lane, and we're all probably doing about 80. And I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm thinking that his tire blew out because his car like dipped. And all of a sudden, he came fishtailing over into my lane right in front of me. So I slammed on the brake. And then he went fishtailing over into the right lane because there's a 3-lane highway. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go off into the ditch on the right. And keep in mind, I got people coming behind me at 70 and 80 miles an
Yeah,
hour, and I'm slamming on my brake. But then he turns the wheel to overcorrect
overcorrected.
and comes back over. Now he's crossed back over the right lane. Now he's back in the middle lane, like 20 feet in front of me. And I'm like, fuck. I'm slamming on my brake now because I'm going to T-bone him. But he keeps going and he goes into the left lane. He's fishtailing. And then I'm watching him because now he's like right in front of my face. And I hear his car bottom out and he head on slams into the guardrail. Head on.
Yeah,
Boom. And I'm like, fuck. And now I'm thinking the people behind me are going to be massive piling up. So I fucking hit the gas because I needed to get the fuck out of there.
yeah, get by. No, I'm not writing no witness report. I'm good.
Yeah,
I
right.
made that mistake. This story you was telling remind me. It sounded almost exactly. I turned in my weapon, Task Force Gator in New Orleans, what we were just talking about. We worked a 4 days on, 4 days off shift. It was a cake deployment. We always had a hotel room a block away from the Superdome, a block away from the French Quarter. It was nice. But I turned my weapon in. I was hauling ass to get home, and it was one of those bumper to bumper traffics, but we were all doing 80. Everybody's tight. It's the road's full, but we're moving.
Right.
Two cars in front of me. There's this little girl. There must have been something in the road. There's a truck in front of her just barely got by it, but she was a split second too late and did the same thing. Jerked back, overcorrected, and when she overcorrected, shot straight across through the median and come this fucking close to a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler.
Oh god.
And then disappeared into the tree line. Boom. And I was like, I've been responding to wrecks all week, but I can't let that little girl just go into. And good thing I did, man, because when I stopped and got across the highway, there's a bunch of people just like standing around the car, looking, watching. I'm like, well, nobody's gonna take charge of the scene, ma'am. If you feel all right, if your neck and back feels all right, we need to get you out of the vehicle before that airbag just goes off spontaneously. Are you all right? Just start checking her because we had to go through combat lifesaver. Fucking seemed like every 6 weeks down there. I could still give her an IV because of it. But then the state people got there.
If the guy hadn't slammed head on into the guardrail, if there was no guardrail there, he would have been headed straight for 3 more lanes of 70 to 80 miles of traffic going the other direction. Man. He would have been going straight across it, like he would have been T-boned like in a heartbeat.
Man, she was, I'm telling you, it fucking must have took her gas cap off. It was that close. I had a buddy who got in some similar like that, got in a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler like that, and now he's got more fucking titanium in his body than the damn space shuttle in the wreck.
How did he fucking live through a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler?
His buddy didn't. He was trapped in the vehicle with his buddy while his buddy took his last breath.
Was he driving or was he a passenger?
No, he was in the passenger seat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy situation. But that dude with all that metal in his body, I don't know a motherfucker that can dance like him. Still crazy. He's got, joints fused. He can't move his wrist no more than that, you know?
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. It was like, those things that just happen and like, it's in seconds, but it seems like forever, and you got to make all these Mario Andretti decisions.
Mm-hmm. Your true self takes over, and you're like, where the fuck has that person been the whole time?
Right.
If I could access that.
You went left, you went right. What am I doing? Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It was crazy how many, while I was on Task Force Gator doing that for work, how many wrecks I would come across in my personal life where I'm like, I just jump back into hero mode, That was.
And why are these people wrecking? Like, what's the?
I don't know. I don't know why I ran into
reason.
I went get the back tire on my bike changed one time, and I got my girlfriend to bring me up to the shop to pick it up, and we're on the way back to my house. And at the time, the road I lived on was this long straightaway, one nasty curve in the road, only one. And these people must have been from out of town or something like that, didn't know it. I turn off of the highway, and you're about a mile from the curve. And I'm like, that's weird. Somebody's, how old people burn leaves in the ditch up the front? I was like, there's no houses there. I wonder who's burning leaves in the ditch. I get a little bit closer, and I see that the person burning leaves wasn't. That's not the case. It was a guy that stopped at a wreck, and he was out in front, like losing his mind. So I pull up on it, hop off my bike, calm him down a little bit, and assess the situation. what looked like a Dodge Charger, or what was left of it. They had to be doing every bit of 100. Um, just mangled. The roof was down. The engine was in between the driver and passenger seat. The
Did he hit
driver,
something? What did he hit?
the ditch,
Oh,
end over end, and
oh,
maybe a tree off in on the side or whatever. But the car was just destroyed. The passenger was a heavy set woman. She was like laid over with the engine sitting right next to her and a small fire starting. And I couldn't see the driver. So I scanned the area looking for the driver. And as soon as I had given up on looking for him to go attend to her, right down at my feet, driver's face down, not moving. I was like, well, let's go to the one that might actually still be alive. And I grabbed the guy that was freaking out. I was like, come help me get her out. We start yanking on this the door, and all the while the fire on the engine is just getting hotter and hotter. It's oil, and my face is like melting. The roof is too close to the dashboard for us to pull her through the windshield or the window. She was too heavy to, she's a big girl to pull out of the car like that, and the door just would not come. I finally had to make the decision and like, come on, dude, we gotta get away from this before there's nothing we can do. And we walk out to the road as the fire starts engulfing the entire car, and look down and you can see the fire department on their way, just too late.
oh man,
And
that's a sad
uh,
story.
I I went and at that time a cop had pulled up and started, directing traffic and stuff. I walked to my girlfriend's car. I was like, no matter what that cop says, follow me. We're getting out of here. I'm not waiting around here to, you know.
Was the girl that was in the car, was she conscious or unconscious?
Um, my cousin was a cop in the area at the time, and I think he just told me this to make me feel better that they were dead on the scene. They were dead from the wreck,
Right.
because I basically had to sit there and watch them burn to death, and there was nothing I can do. I blamed myself for a couple months, and then finally, the reality of the situation came to my mind. Like, not only was I not the one that got him in the wreck, but I did everything I fucking could to try to, you know,
Yeah.
remedy the situation. I couldn't hold on to that long, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of those times where like my true self took over, and I was just fucking watching me. Like, damn, you know. I wish I could be that person 24/7. My life would be a lot easier.
Yeah, you just never know. Shit happens.
Yeah, we got to my house. I laid my head down on my girlfriend's lap. I shed a few tears and then shook it off. Got to go back to New Orleans and see real shit again. New Orleans is crazy, man.
I've been to New Orleans a couple times.
What part?
Down to the French Quarter.
Cafe Du Monde,
Yep. Done all that stuff.
Beignets.
Yep. I'm not a big fan of Bourbon Street, so like I don't really do Bourbon Street.
Well, you don't like the smell of piss and drunk people. And we saw a picture online one time where they were talking about repaving Bourbon and taking out it's not cobblestone, whatever that the road is, like the old style,
Yeah.
and like making it nice and stuff. And I was like, watch, they fucking repave it. It stops smelling like piss, and then attendance drops for some reason. Like that's the reason that people are attracted to it. I mean,
Well, it gives it that old time feel too.
yeah,
That's what
I mean,
people like.
who hasn't pissed on Bourbon Street? So,
Well, I haven't, but
the cutest, bougiest little chick that I ever dated and took out there. I remember the first time she popped a squat next to a building on Bourbon. She was always famous for wearing these heels, and she's getting dressed. Every time I'm like, why are you doing that? You know, you just gonna have your little pit pats on by the end of the night, and I'm gonna be carrying these shoes.
Yeah, it's hard to walk in high heel shoes on those kind of roads.
You know what I'm talking about? The pit pats. They're
Yeah,
like the little ballet slipper things that fold up and
yeah,
go in a purse.
yeah.
Make sure you got your pit pats. And so I pick out shoes that were like easy for me to carry, that look good on me, that match my outfit because they were gonna be in my hand by the end of the night. I got some fun memories on bourbon. The Mayweather De La Hoya fight we watched outside of a Mango's with that same girlfriend on my shoulders the entire fight, watching it happen. I remember it like yesterday. That was pretty cool. Remember like a bunch of times where he took military buddies that were just back from deployment, probably shouldn't have been drinking as much as they did, and crazy shit going down. And
Last time
wow,
I was there, we went to Frenchman's. Is that Frenchman Street up and down that all those bars and stuff?
see, that's the coolest thing about New Orleans. You can just take off walking, and no matter where you go, as long as you downtown ish, you'll find like a little hole in the wall restaurant with some of the best food,
Yeah,
some of the best drinks,
for sure.
drink that are like chef level drinks that are they're made by a mixologist, not just a fucking bartender.
Yeah, I
And
always stayed up near the French, near the market, the open market.
yeah, they on the Riverwalk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
liked it up there. It's more quiet.
I chop a tooth. I had a fight on in one of the big arenas on that Riverwalk, not far from the boat. And the guy I was supposed to fight got a bad case of vaginitis right before the fight. He never showed up.
That doesn't sound good.
Hmm. I just beat the brakes off his cousin like 3 months prior to that, so I think that might have messed with his head a little bit. But I wasn't complaining. I got put up in a room for the night. I didn't have to fight. Uh, it was a good time. I actually got to get drunk after. I wasn't all dehydrated from weight cut and all that. It was cool.
Well, it's a good place to get drunk because you can just go from one place to the next.
Yeah, my cousin started a private security firm of a bunch of guys we either fought with that came out of the gym or guys that he played high school and collegiate football with. Just like a overpowered, stacked group of guys, and we worked for this little. It was a little company. Now they're all over. They're even out here. Walk-ons. It's a restaurant. These two guys were walk-ons to the LSU basketball team, and they had a project for their economics class to make the perfect business, and they designed a restaurant, and they made an A on it, and they did so good that one of the guys' dads, who had money, was like, well, "If y'all want to go through with it, I'll front y'all the money to get it started." And they got a badass location right outside of Death Valley in LSU, and then ended up getting a badass location right outside of the Superdome. And those two guys hired my cousin to bring the security business that he had started. We get paid $20 an hour to just stand there and mac on chicks all night. Like it rarely did a fight break out, and if it did, bad day for whoever decided to fight because all these guys were. I was talking to my buddy Big Tony about a fight that I remember. I heard it over the radio, so I go downstairs, make my way to it. There's no rush because these guys got it. And when I get down there, my cousin Roman was taking the aggressor off to the side, and my buddy Big Tony is like a 360-pound, 6'8" black guy, just intimidating looking, but he's just a big teddy bear, real in real life. He had the other guy. We thought that was the aggressor that Roman took. That's why Roman took him. But apparently, this guy grew the biggest pair of brass balls I'd ever seen in a guy, and he hopped. Because he literally had to come off his feet to reach Tony's face, and either brushed him or actually clipped him. And at that point, I was like scared for the guy because Tony turns to him, and I thought he was just gonna pound him in the oatmeal right there. He had every right to, dude snuck him. But Tony just put his hand on his chest, slammed him up against the brick wall, and then went back to watching Roman like he was nothing. It was hilarious. But we get paid $20 an hour. We be there fucking 12 hours of the day. Take that money, go straight to bourbon, and blow it all on alcohol.
Oh boy,
Fun times.
easy to do.
Yeah, easy. They got what's it called? Pat's Lucky. I'm thinking Pat O'Reilly's, but they got some place that it was a beer place. They got all kind of craft beers and stuff, and like I don't know if Abita was hot the last time you went down to New Orleans, but it's Abita Springs is
New Orleans was actually my second to last trip before the pandemic hit. So I was in New Orleans 2019 in October.
yeah. Well, Abita. I mean, I've been drinking Abita since I was 16 or something like that. Like it's been a big thing. Abita Springs and Kentwood, where Britney Spears is from. Those are the two bottled water cities. That's what the two big natural springs in Louisiana that I know of. Maybe there's more, but Abita started a beer company, and that was their marketing aspect. It's fresh spring water,
Uh,
and they had it on tap. That's what I liked about it. They had it on tap. They got this one called Andy Gator. It's 8%. They call it a Doppelbock, which I don't need to be German to know that means a double bock, a high gravity brew, And a couple of them 8% Andy Gator. It'll knock your dick in your watch pocket if you're not careful. Yeah, good times. I wouldn't go to New Orleans now. And people are like, man, I want to go Mardi Gras. I worked Mardi Gras with a gun on my hip, bro.
I would never go to Mardi Gras.
Man, imagine how stressful it was. Like, I didn't see my partner most of the day, and he was 10 feet from me, A fight would break out 20 feet from us. It felt like it took us 15 minutes to get through the people to the fight. Unless you were on a horse, the cops the mountain cops. Because people just the waters break for the horse. But you got to shove people aside and get back. I was worried about my gun the whole time. It was too much.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go down there during any of those festivals. Even the Jazz Fest would be too much. When I used to go every year. And most of the time I went in November, a week in November. Sometimes I'd go the week between Christmas and New Year's. But then, like New Year's Day, one year I was there, and it was some kind of New Year's Day was some kind of like big time football thing, college football going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that town got so ridiculous. So
I was down there when we were deployed when LSU played Ohio for the national championship
that's a
in
big
New
game.
Orleans. In New Orleans.
That's a big game.
That's kind of unfair for Ohio. And out in my district, we pull up to the like when they moved these people out of the projects, like the Calio, these big famous red brick projects. They had to relocate them. So what they would do is like they get these, these foreign guys that are hotel owners that don't know much about New Orleans. They just moved out here, moved to America and bought a hotel. They would con them into taking the contract. So then basically we were doing walkthroughs through the Sunshine Inn, which is Same as doing a walkthrough through the Calio projects. Door wide open, people smoking crack freely. Don't care. The cops are walking through. It was crazy. And we pull up one time. There's a bunch of Ohio fans that have rented rooms. They thought they got a deal, and I remember getting out and talking to them like, "Are any of y'all packing? Like, what are y'all thinking being out here? I wouldn't. I didn't go to that area without if I didn't have my duty weapon, I had my own personal. Like y'all need to watch yourselves around here." And then we drive through every now and then, playing the LSU fight song over the loudspeaker of the unit and stuff. It was fun, and they won. They ended up winning that one. But I mean, the home field advantage they had. It's an hour away from Baton Rouge. New Orleans turned into Baton Rouge
Yeah.
for that night. Which it had the opposite. It happened when Katrina hit. Baton Rouge doubled in size overnight. The horror stories you hear from people, like little old ladies getting beat up in the Walmart parking lot for their purse and stuff like that. Like it was insane. That's why another reason that my first employment, Iraq wasn't shit. Iraq was like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. On the other side of the world, we're just raping and pillaging this poor third world country for its resources. We're like New Orleans is like, this is not what I thought war would be like. It was just compounded
War.
by all of the little factors.
War against Mother Nature.
Right. Mother Nature got that one. It
Yeah.
wasn't much of a battle.
When she gets pissed, you better look out.
Man, I was in, see, I wasn't first wave New Orleans. Because when Katrina hit, I graduated from a military school. We were a couple weeks out from graduating, and we knew a storm was coming. Because hurricanes, that's the good thing about hurricanes. You see them coming from far out, and you got time to prepare. But they weren't letting us know how bad it was. Well, we were so close to graduating. Some of us had tested out, and we had access to the the more free areas of the base, like the PX and stuff, where we could get our hands on newspapers. And I remember somebody came back with the famous, if you look it up, you Google Katrina front page radar picture, where it's like the Gulf of Mexico and Katrina's taking up 95% of the Gulf, headed
Yeah.
straight for Louisiana. We were all huddled around it, looking at it, and there wasn't a word being said. It was a mind blowing, is what it was. I
It was
mean,
a
we
what
all,
the fuck moment.
yeah, we've all seen hurricanes before. We've never seen no shit like that, and we all huddled down in the barracks for it as she passed through. And the very next day, because I had been talking to the Marine Corps recruiter about going to the Marines as soon as I graduate. And the very next day, after everything had settled, I was looking out of the barracks window at the National Guard ramping up to go down there. And I was like, man, I can't go off and join the Marine Corps and like leave Louisiana when all these dudes are fucking taking care of home. And that's what made me end up going National Guard instead of the Marine Corps, which I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marine Corps is badass, but I feel like my enlistment was a little bit more noble because of that. At least I got something. Iraq, I'll always regret after finding out, all of the reality behind it. But at least did something in my time, and that was like noble.
Yep. Noble Caleb. That's what we'll call you.
Fucking noble EQ snoring his ass off
I
already.
think so. I think we lost him a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Poor dude. I always start these up. You said it was early. I feel like it's always late for him.
Well, it is a school night.
You're in his time zone too, huh?
Yep.
An hour ahead.
Yeah, it's like 1:30. So listen, I'm gonna say goodnight because I got to get up and teach in a little
Yeah,
while.
we have 1:59:37. It would be a perfect 2 hours. Look at I'm Joe Rogan in it tonight. Perfect timing on it.
I'm just counting the days till spring break, personally.
What my little boy? The reason he was up so late tonight is because he's off this next week.
Oh, your spring break's already started.
His, not mine.
Well, his, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is mine now.
Mine's not for another 3 weeks.
Like, he'll be coming to job sites with me this week. I got me free labor.
There you go.
He's just gonna make it harder. That's all it is.
He's like, I want to go back to school.
No, I promise he won't. He's daddy all over. He'll try to con me into pulling him out.
All right. Well, it was fun chatting with you.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
It's good seeing you too.
We had to,
And when
get
EQ wakes up, let him know it's good chatting with him too.
I'll let him know. I talk to him on a regular outside of YouTube now. My big brother.
Yeah, he's cool. All right, Caleb. Well, take care. I'll see you again soon sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, hang in there.
All right, EQ.
Bye, EQ.
Sweet dreams, EQ.
All right,
Later,
Caleb. Good night.
All right.